We're gonna get canceled for this. I'm copying an Alex Hormozy video, and the Alex Hormozy video is how to win your 20s. I am so sorry. I feel as though I've won my 20s. Zach and I both have boats. We both have multi six-figure per month incomes, and life is a little bit different for us. And I want to talk about the steps that we took, not just in wholesaling, but everything. Like what the hell did we do to get here? How can you get here? For me, it's a combination of consistency and content. It's kind of like banging your head against the wall until the wall breaks. It's like you bang your head against the wall for a long time and nothing happens, and then eventually the wall breaks. My qualifications are: I graduated college about, I don't know, 2 years ago. I got my bachelor's of science. I decided that I did not want to use my degree to go get a job. I decided I wanted to do something else. And as of now, I have one of the largest real estate investing communities on the internet. And I've got a lot of properties. I do a lot of wholesale deals. I do about 20 to 30 wholesale deals per month. Zach does more wholesale deals than that. But Zach, what are your qualifications to say that you've won your 20s so that we can teach others how to do the same? We didn't even need to ask. We already know. There's a lot, though. Go ahead.
Well, the way I look at win your 20s is if you decided you just want to give up and like quit, can you just keep like with the, you don't really think about think of your age about all the real estate you own, just compound interest that sucker at, let's say 7%. Like you're set for life, right? I mean, you're set for life. So that's the way I kind of look at it. I like to think that Richard owns the largest paid wholesaling community. I own the largest free wholesaling community. That's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, I don't think anyone's got five figures of people paying to be in a wholesaling community, and they pay because they get value out of it, right? There's not one other. There's not one. You can't name one.
Zach, what did you do to get to where you are? Like obviously we got the wholesale tactics. We're always talking about the tactics, the approaches. The topic is how to win your 20s. I've got an extensive yap session prepared for you guys, but I do. I'm always starting here. So Zach's gonna start. Zach does multi six figures per month, and he lives his dream life. How the hell did you get there? Tell us. How did you get there? What did you do? How can we do this? How can we do the same? That's all I want to know. How do you make so much money? How the hell can we do the same?
Yeah, so 7 figures a month, but
okay, all right. So I guess
you got to remember this. You got to remember this. I have to pay somebody half of all my deals.
I don't do seven. I don't do 7 figures per month. I do not do. That's crazy. Okay,
I've been doing a little longer, but okay. But so remember, for most of my deals, I have to pay Rick, my partner, half, and then I usually have to pay another guy half of that too for JVing for most of these deals. And so that's the so I don't want to get all big, bad, and crazy. But first and foremost, the way I've got there was I just get better every month, and that's pretty much it, right? If you're able to double your income every year for like 5 years and you start making 100 grand, like it just gets disgusting. And I'm in year 9 of doing this. That's it. Like, just show up every single day and absolutely love what you do. I think you love what you do. And I think your mic's, yeah. Try to plug it, unplug it. I don't know. There you go.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Where'd you go to school? You go to college?
Yeah, I went to UF for one semester.
Okay, he went to University of Florida, and this is where many people start. What actions did you take in college that led you to where you are today? What did you do? Did you really focus on your GPA? Did you focus on extracurriculars? You do a lot of internships. What did you do in college? You get to college, you're a college student, you're on campus. Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah, so remember, I was already making 6 figures a year in high school doing this. So I went to college. I basically learned how to virtually wholesale. And the one thing I always attribute to my success was I cold called from 2 to 7 p.m. every single day religiously. And I spent pretty much the mornings doing acquisitions. I kid you not, all of my friends from college, they will attest to this. From pretty much 9 to 7 p.m., I was in my dorm room working in cold calling. They all knew my scripts. And this is not a joke. Like, some of my roommates in college, like, they'll bring a girl home at like 6:30. And they're like, what is it? What does he do? I'm like, he's working. And no joke, they would like have to like leave and come back at 7 because I was cold calling and I was not getting off the dang phone. And it was so funny. I remember my one roommate asked me like, dude, can you just get off the phone? Like, and because like someone's coming, I'm like, no. 2 to 7 p.m. religiously, I cold call motivated sellers, which sounds torture for you. I get it. But I was using a triple line dialer in 2018, 5 hours a day. That's all I did. And that was making about 20 grand a month. And that was amazing for college. And that's all. Like, I didn't really kill myself doing it, right? So we're going to wait for his cam to come back on.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I forgot to record.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to ask you that question so that we don't have.
But basically, a lot of people thought I killed myself in college. And so then I would just watch all my classes online because you could just watch the lectures online, and I would work out and then hang out with my buddies after. Like, I didn't kill myself in college, and a lot of people think I did, but it was really 7-8 hours dedicated to the business. That's it.
Okay. So he's in college. He spends the hours of 9 to. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. He's 9 to 7, guys. I had classes. I didn't have time for that.
Well, I was in the business school, so it was a joke. And all the classes are recorded, so you just listen to 2x. Why would you go to class if they're recorded and you can watch it back on the computer at 2x speed?
Because my parents told me I needed to show up to class. So my parents told me I needed to show up to class. So I showed up to class. Guys, I was taking the classes. I actually did show up to class. I got my degree. I graduated. It took me 4 years. I also did summer school. But yeah, I was in the business school as well. So I guess he spent an exorbitant amount of time cold calling. I spent a lot of time calling, but not that much time, guys. Not that much time cold calling. So I would say my day kind of looked like this. I would usually take anywhere from like 13 credits low end to 16 credits high end. And that would be anywhere from like 3 to 5 classes per day. The way that the college schedule is, sometimes you'll have class at 7 a.m. to 10, and then you have a gap from 10 to 12, and then you got another class at like 3 to 4 p.m. or something like that. Maybe sometimes they even go into the night. But I would say I would call in between classes. So my trajectory was much more so related to podcasts, binging podcasts, like religiously binging podcasts. I spent a lot of time cold calling, but I spent a lot more time to the point where my Spotify Wrapped was just podcasts. Like everything that I listened to was literally just podcasts. I listened to Wholesale Hotline. I listened to Pace Morby. I listened to Jerry Norton. I would have listened to this podcast. I listened to a lot of Kong Wholesale to Million. Whenever I was driving, I listened to a podcast. Whenever I was in the gym, I listened to a podcast. Whenever I was cooking, I listened to a podcast. Anything that I was doing that was rather mindless, that didn't require a lot of thought, I listened to podcasts. Now, what I turned that education into was probably like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I ever cold called for more than like 2 or 3 hours nonstop, like 2 or 3 hours nonstop. Guys, I'm just like you. This is how it would go. I'd cold call for like an hour and a half, and then I'd like swipe on TikTok, like pull out TikTok, swipe a little bit. And then I'd cold call for another hour and a half. And then maybe like 30 minutes into that, I'd be like, swipe, like I'm just literally swiping on my phone. It's not as rigorous as you think. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be that crazy. Your consistency is much more important than your I do 10 hours a day. Every single day I do 10 hours per day. I would literally I'd call, I'd listen to my podcast, I'd scroll on TikTok, I'd call, I'd listen to my podcast, I'd scroll on TikTok. That's literally it. And the thing is, I had stretches of maybe like 3 hours of nonstop calls. God, that's brutal. It was just brutal. It was really, really, really brutal, guys. But there was a lot of times where I didn't really know what made a deal a deal. So I was figuring out through my podcast what makes a deal a deal. And I was figuring out through getting properties under contract part-time what made a deal a deal. And for the first year and a half of wholesaling, I was just sort of this 1 to 3 man operation. Me, my business partner, my virtual assistant, we would both call. And when we got a property under contract, everything stopped and we would try to dispose of that property. And that was what it looked like. So I would say this, rather than burning yourself out, set a really attainable goal. I set an attainable goal for myself, and I hit that goal every single day. I tried to do 10 conversations per day. Some days I did more, some days I did less. I found out very, very quickly that cold calling a list was not my forte. Although it works, it just wasn't the way that I like to get my deals. I found out very quickly, not very quickly, over a long period of time, that text blasting wasn't the way I wanted to do my deals. But I'd say this. The biggest thing for winning your 20s is getting good at one skill. Just one. Just get good at one skill, just one skill. If you can get really, really good at one thing, then you can start posting it on social media. Because I would say there's kind of a 50-50 thing here, guys. There's the skill, wholesaling real estate, and the money that you make there, and then there's the social media side of things. and they're just not the same without each other. So guys, I got really, really good at this one thing through consistency, not really long, crazy hours, not the craziest, longest hours ever, just consistency. And then I started filming it every single day, just like I had to make X amount of calls per day. I had to make X amount of videos per day. There were days where I put out 15 videos. I quickly learned that that was not the way to do it, but essentially it was just this trial and error process for me. Just over and over and over and over, trial, error, trial, error, trial, error, and then consistency. I don't have the work ethic to be able to sit and do something for 8 hours, 9 hours. And if I did sit and do something for 9 hours, you know, there was big gaps of time where I was getting food or scrolling on my phone or just doing the things that we typically get distracted with. So I just want to let you guys know, master of one or master of none. It doesn't matter how much time you spend on that thing as long as you just do that one thing. One of the biggest downfalls I see about guys in their 20s is I can hype you up about something. Somebody on YouTube can hype you up about something, but if you're the type to hustle hop, to say, oh, I'm going to try this one. No, I'm going to try this one. No, I'm going to try this one. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. Pick one, make it attainable. Once you're good at it, once you have proof of concept, I want you to start filming it. And that's the simple recipe. That is the simple recipe. You need to have tunnel vision. You need to not see everything that you see on social media. It can't be, I'm going to try wholesaling today, and then I'm going to try cryptocurrency tomorrow, and then I'm going to try this the next day. Don't do that stuff, guys. Just pick one very attainable goal. Once you have success, or even before you have success, post on social media. Don't know what to post on social media. You know what would go super viral? You failing at a cold call. All right, guys. So today I'm going to do a cold call. I'm going to call this guy. If I can get the property at $60,000, it's going to be a deal. Hi. And then you hang up the phone. That would go viral. I swear to God, that would go viral. Like, you completely failing at a cold call, if it's authentic, that is going to go viral. So it's really simple. I don't have a lot to tell you today. I really don't have a lot to tell you today. You need to get good at one skill. That's the first thing. You need to not hustle hop. I know so many people who are like, I'll try this hustle today. I'll try this hustle tomorrow. I'll try that hustle the next day. I don't care. I don't care. Even if it looks like it's more lucrative, if you pick your hustle, you stick with that hustle. And then don't burn yourself out. Don't burn yourself out, guys. Let's just aim for 5 phone calls per day. And then after you have proof of concept, or even before you have proof of concept, record those cold calls. Talk about, so one day you're going to post a cold call. The next day you're going to post, this is what wholesaling houses is, or this is what landscaping is, or this is what whatever business you do is. Cold call, post explanation. Cold call, post explanation. Repeat, continue every single day. In 2 years, you'll be speaking at an event. Ask me how I know. I'm speaking on stage with Pace Morby in 3 months. That's all I did.
Whoa. There we go. Congratulations.
That's it.
You don't need a stage, but
that's it.
I always say this, but it's like, okay, if you look at like all these things, you have crypto, day trading, you know, all these things, right? Like you just go to WAP and you look at all the things. I saw the sports betting, guaranteed picks, guaranteed to be right. I think of all these little side hustles. I'm like, guaranteed. Okay. It's like, if you have $100, which one can you turn into $10,000 or $20,000 in the next 30 days? And if you only have $100, there's only one that's legal, and that's wholesaling. I always say either you can shake your butt on the internet or you can wholesale. Only side hustle you can do with $100 to make 10 grand. And that's it. And wholesaling is the actual only way side hustle for like a guy to make money online with like $100.
I think it's really interesting too, because guys, keep in mind, in sales, you're either offering somebody something that they don't really need, solar panels, pest control. Okay, maybe sometimes you need those things, but in sales, you're calling somebody to offer them something that they don't really need, or you're calling to get something at a discount. With wholesaling, okay, first of all, typically you need money to start a business, not with wholesaling. Second of all, in sales, you're either offering somebody something they don't really need, trying to convince them of that, or you're trying to get something at a discount, right? Not necessarily the case in wholesaling. I only call people to offer them more than they want. I only call people to offer them more than they want. I call somebody who has a house listed for $550,000. They're going to lose $10,000 on the sale. I offer them $30,000. So I'm calling people who, one, already want to sell their houses, two, expecting to lose money on the sale, and then giving them more money than they're expecting to make. What other business model is both free, you can start today, and you're offering people more money than they're expecting to make?
None. Coffee versus fast, easy offer. This is a real court case that happened right after our last episode we did, where a seller got sued for cold calling and asking if they're interested in selling the property, and the wholesaler won the lawsuit. Now there's legal case law that you can cold call, and it's not TCPA because the judge found that you are not selling a good or service by wholesaling. And so this is massive for cold calling for my crowd. But the whole TCPA thing has completely changed the other way too, where you are not selling something. You're not selling a good or service at all by calling or doing any type of marketing. And so, I mean, now we have case law about wholesaling too, which is, I think, absolutely awesome. And that's we're going to see a lot more cold calling after that. But no, can you think of another side hustle with $100? You can make 10 grand for, let's say you're 16.
Yeah, like I've got one. It's maybe not 10, but maybe 5. I've always believed in couch flipping. You get the business model is kind of like this. Like if you didn't have any money, you don't need money to start wholesaling. But honestly, one other business model that I've always thought was like halfway decent. Find a $100 or free couch on Facebook. You know how there's free couches on Facebook, Craigslist, all those like offer up. Get one of those couches. Use your $100 to buy like one of those spin water couch cleaner things, and then clean that couch, post it back on Facebook the next day. You probably post that thing for like $400. You pick it up for 100. You're not making 10K, but I do believe in it. I do think it works. I do think it works. But
okay. Let's add this one, virtual.
No, I wouldn't. It's not something that I want to do.
Right.
Honestly, I don't want to do that. But I've always thought it was like, okay, that's a halfway decent business model. I know Ryan Pineda on Instagram. I guess he has a whole series on couch flipping, which is really interesting. But guys, you could also just find me or Zach my next rental property, and we'll both give you 10K. Like that isn't that a little bit easier? And keep in mind, if we don't pick up your deal, there's millions of other investors who could look at your deal. But guys, the topic of today's live stream is how to win your 20s. I want to make it attainable. I really want to make it attainable. So for me, I really, really like businesses surrounding cold calling because you have a lot of built-in content already. So I really want you to pick a business surrounding cold calling. And obviously I'm going to nudge you towards wholesaling because, as I said, master of one or master of none. I only know wholesaling. I don't know another business model. I content, I guess I know content, but it's kind of one and the same for me. So I want to give you guys a very attainable, actionable plan for those in your 20s or really anywhere. Keep in mind, if you're in college, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. In my chat right now, how many people are in college? How many people are in college? You guys, you have no idea the opportunity you have. Garrett, can you? Hey, dog, I'm in a podcast. Could you stop calling me? Thank you so much. Yeah, no. I've gotten like three calls from bro while I'm in the podcast. He wants me to sign a contract. I'll sign the contract later. But how many people are in our college? Trying to drop out. Why? Don't drop out. Do not drop out. That's
what I didn't do. I didn't drop out. Like I started making a lot of money. I went home because I found out you can do I don't know if you had ProctorU, but you could just take your test on your computer and watch the lectures on the computer. So I said, I'm out. I'm just gonna wholesale locally. Guys, I never dropped out, but like
there's a reason not to drop out, guys. There's a huge, huge, huge reason not to drop out. You're not in real life when you're in college. You're not in real life when you're in college. Here's why.
I agree.
You either have deferred student loans. Do we know what deferred student loans are? Deferred student loans are loans you don't have to pay back until you start working, until you start making money. The government just gives you money and you can go to college with that money. You can live off that money. You got to pay it back later. So life has not hit yet. You can also pick your own schedule. If you choose to major in beekeeping, and honestly, a lot of colleges have beekeeping as a major. I'm so deadly serious. You can major in beekeeping. And so if you choose to major in beekeeping, you've got like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours a day of work, maybe less than that. And now you have time for cold calls. So I did business. Business is the guys in the business major are so slow it hurts. It's like they're immensely slow, and the courses are built to reflect that, guys. So I would heavily recommend majoring in business. I wouldn't pick a minor, and I would do business administration. I wouldn't do finance. You're going to dodge a lot of the math classes. Marketing could also be fine, but guys, I really think business administration is the like brain dead, stupid, I have a low IQ major. I think you should pick that major. I really should, because if you play your cards right, you can pass with B minuses, and you can be in this life hasn't started for me yet period for 4 years.
And there's always a Quizlet.
Your parents are either covering your college expenses or you have deferred student loans. There's very rarely a middle ground. You're not working a job. Like, guys, you're not working a job to pay your way through college. It's just extremely unlikely. With the amount of money you need per term and taking classes on top of that and socializing, it's just not happening. So you either have deferred student loans, which is probably the majority of you, or you have parents who are assisting you. With either path, you have an exorbitant amount of free time on your hands. If you choose your major right, and I know everybody in school is like, load on the classes, load on the minors, load on the really hard stuff. If you choose your major right, you could be looking at 2 to 3 hours a day of work, maybe even less than that, maybe only 1 hour per day of work if you choose if you do your stuff right. I remember in my last trimester of college, I was taking like badminton and Native American flute. I'm serious. Those were credits I needed. I needed to pass my Native American flute class, which you literally just listen to this guy play his flute in class, and then he gives you a quiz at the end. And I was also taking badminton. It was literally just exercise, literally just fun. During that time, guys, I had 3 hours a day to make calls and film content. So if you're in college, this is great. Life hasn't started yet, and you can stay in this environment for 4 years where life has not started. This is huge. This is massive. Do not drop out of college. Do not drop out of college, because as soon as you start working, you don't have the energy to do your calls anymore. I have people who come to me who have 9 to 5 jobs, and they're like, Richard, how do I get started in wholesaling? And I'm like, tell me your schedule and I'll tell you how. And they say, well, I work 9 to 5. And I'm like, it's not that you don't have the time to, it's that you don't have the energy to. Like, you do not have the energy to make these calls. You are going to burn out. So keep that schedule really light in college, get the 3.0, the 2.9 GPA. My degree looks just the same as anybody else's degree, and lock in on your hustle. Film that. And when you film that, guys, so let's say that we're going to call from the hours of 11 a.m. to 1, just 11 to 1, really, 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 really short amount of time making calls. You're going to film that process. And then after 11 to 1, you're going to clip it and you're going to post it on social media. And then the next day, instead of posting a D's get degrees, actually they do not get degrees. C's get degrees. But if you post the cold call video one day, don't post the cold call video the next day. Post a video explaining your cold call and what you're doing. This is a 2-year game plan. This is a 2-year game plan, and all you need to do, 2 hours per day. 2 hours per day of calling, of filming every single day. 2-year game plan. You're not going to have to work a job after college. If you're already out of work, we need to find a way to free up some time. I think DoorDash is really good. So maybe you could go part-time and do some DoorDashing. Maybe you could do some couch flipping so that you can free up that time. Because honestly, guys, if you're already working a job, wholesaling is going to be hard. It's going to be really, 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 really hard if you're already working a job, which is why college is the best time to get started. So we need to free up some time if you're already working a job. You know, I have this, there's actually this person I know, they work at my gym, and they keep asking me, how can I get started? How can I get started? How can I get started? And I'm like, you know, with your hours, honestly, I wouldn't suggest this business model for you. I would just start filming lifestyle content and just hope and pray, because it's really hard with the job. It is really hard. I'm not going to say it's easy with the job. If you have another time commitment every single day of your life, it's going to be really hard, but you can get it done. You can get it done. It's just, make it attainable, man. Make it attainable. The weekends are fine to call, guys. Okay.
I agree. College is a joke, man. I mean, I think you can go full time in this. I think you could be wholesaling like full time and just do this part time too. I mean, you only need really 3 to 4 hours. I killed myself doing it. I think 3 or 4 hours is all you really need. And if you want to spend money on like text blasting, like the way I teach it, right? I mean, you can even do less time now. So
the chat is saying, Zach says, and the chat says, college is so dumb. I don't think so, guys.
Dude,
I don't think so.
For me, I didn't learn anything, man.
It's you get in.
I got a degree though too, so
you get in what you get out. So, guys,
yeah.
I really liked my economics classes. I really liked my history classes. And if you haven't noticed, we just elected a felon. Why? It's called the death of expertise. It's the death of expertise. We don't trust doctors anymore. When your car's broken, you go to the mechanic. When you want to learn about real estate, you come to me. But when it comes to a doctor telling you not that masks prevent the spread of diseases, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. College is, guys, more, you know, it's more important than money. Honestly, like saving the planet and like morals and like being a good person. And honestly, like, guys, go to college so that you learn like the basic like fundamentals of economics and how our government works and everything. Like there's so much, so much. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard, but your college is really important. Your college is immensely important. It's important for your understanding of the world around you. It's important so that you can build empathy. You know where empathy comes from? Empathy comes from understanding. And if you don't have any understanding, you don't have any empathy. And if you don't have any empathy, you start falling into the conservative pot. And that's bad. So guys, I really think you should go to college. I think college is immensely important. I would never denounce my degree. I think my degree is amazing. I'm so happy I have it. I get a different level of recognition from older crowds. And let me put it this way. If just educated people voted, we'd be in a very, very, very different position right now. You can take the heat map of poverty in the United States and line it up with the voting map. It's all red, baby. Look up poverty heat map United States, and then look up how we voted in the last election. You'll see it's the same. What is that? What are they lacking? Education. Education. Go to college, get your fundamental understanding of the world around you, but don't forget, your college degree is not going to set you financially free, and you need to figure out a side hustle prior to that. Honestly, it is immensely important for all of you to go to school, but I do understand where we are right now. College is a privilege. That's not fair. I wish that we had universal education. I really wish we did. So if you're like Richard, I would love to, but I just don't have the means to do so. I feel for you. That's not fair. It's not fair. That shouldn't be the case. That's not how it would work in Europe. Anyways, I just want to say, guys, I do not at all shit on degrees. I think degrees are amazing, and I think everybody should go to college. And honestly, I don't like to surround myself with people who don't have a degree because their understanding of the world is limited. There's very few things that I can talk to them about.
Hey, if there's something Richard doesn't do, it's he doesn't hide what he believes, and that's what you got to respect. I don't believe on the conservative thing. I don't agree on that end, but like I don't care enough, honestly. Like just like going to debate, like whatever, right? If you saw who voted, who's like a millionaire, then I think the voting would be different too, but in a whole different way.
Well, that's right, because Ronald Reagan in the 70s said, you know what? I bet we can convince all the poor people that if we don't tax the rich people, that's going to be better for them.
That's called taxes.
You learn about that in school, guys. It's called Reagan economics or trickle-down economics, and you read the peer-reviewed studies that disprove it. That's the exact reason why we got to go to college, so that we understand what people like Reagan did and why it put us in the place we are now.
Okay. I agree. I think the U.S. spends way too much money on stupid stuff.
Wholesaling, please. We talked about wholesaling. You know, I'm going to go live for the next 3 hours. I'm going to be live for the next 3 hours yapping about wholesaling, looking at your deals. This stuff's important, you guys. But the moral of the story is this. Don't drop out of school. Don't drop out of school. Use that time to probably get B- and C+, but pay attention in your classes. But, you know, you don't have to study the hardest on your tests. Some of those classes are really interesting. And then during that time, figure out another way to make money. YouTube is awesome. It may be harder for you to get a job like your parents did, but you have a tool that your parents would have considered magic, being this content streamed for free on your phone every single day. So watch it, engage with it, do the thing that they're telling you to do, and then film that shit. Because guys, if there's one thing, one piece of advice, if I could shake you and force you to do something, it would be to film yourself today. 100%. 100% film yourself today. Guys, not filming yourself today, not filming a video today, you know what that is? That's like not buying Bitcoin in 2012. I'm so serious. You are not buying Bitcoin in 2012 by not starting a personal brand today. And if you're like, but I don't do anything cool to film myself, I know there's somebody in your followers who you follow who literally does nothing and you just like their content. Yap session over. Yap session concluded. Film yourself.
Richard, what do you think about Israel? I'm just I'm not getting to that.
Oh.
I'm just joking. Dude, I make a yap for about an hour on that one.
I just say one sentence.
Oh,
go on Google Images, look at what Tel Aviv looks like. Go on Google Images, look at what the Gaza Strip looks like. We have rubble on one side, and we have a vacation destination on the other side.
Hey. Hey, man. I just talk about wholesaling,
I'm
man.
so not afraid to lose followers over politics. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But it's not politics, guys. Guys, politics is we both recognize a common issue and we have differences in opinions about how to solve that issue. Where we are now is a scientist tells me that Florida is sinking, and then one side's like, oh, wow, that's bad. And the other side's like, no, no, no. So if we had differing opinions about how to solve that problem, okay, great. But instead it's like, oh, no, I don't think so. I love that we combine this stuff with real estate and entrepreneurship. It's such a fresh take. Such a fresh take, guys. People in our position need to be using their platforms to get loud. Okay, I got to hop on another video and talk about the deals that we closed this week with my team. But I'm going to be live again in 14 minutes. 14 minutes for the Sword and the Stone Challenge. Zach, we're flying out 3 individuals to Portland to spend a weekend with Chris and I. But you know what they need to do? They need to pull the sword from the stone. And you know what that entails? Calling and closing live in front of me.
Oh, I like that.
Calling and closing live in front of me. So we are looking at 3 people. We might have one position already taken by Mr. Rowan Gill, who called live last Friday. But if he gets that contract signed, which we will be checking up on in the next day or so, or actually probably today in the next like 30 minutes or so, he's coming to Oregon, and then we got 2 more positions. So that's happening live here on my account, on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on my Discord. Just thank you so much for watching. This is Why Aren't You Wholesaling with my host, Zach Ginn, and myself, Richard Taylor. Catch me live in San Antonio speaking at Wholesaling Live, where we are going to be doing what we do on Discord every single day, but in front of an audience of a couple thousand people. Anyways, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.